Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Hearthstone. Let's just hop into it. We don't have a lot to really do. We need to play some Shaman cards and play some Taunt cards. So we'll play as my standard Shaman deck, although I'm actually playing in Wild, so I should just be playing in Standard. The fact that it doesn't switch back or pop up a warning there is kind of weird. And it's not like it was an option I turned off.
Begin.
You would think there could be something I could do to say, look, when I click on a standard deck, switch to standard play. There's no reason why I'd want to play a standard deck in Wild by default. That's kind of like a special thing. I guess the idea is that they're going to eventually just try to push you into playing standard only. And if you were playing standard, you probably would only play standard only. Which, in the long run, just means that they're trying to separate the communities out, and that's not going to work very well. Also, things not working very well. Their contest with the right now is BlizzCon convention, and they're having that tournament, and you pick your winner on that tournament, and if he wins, you get a bunch of packs. Well, I picked Handsome Guy. Randomly, I looked at all the South Korean characters and players because I'm stereotypical like that, and because I didn't know any of these people. And I said, well, he looked like the most meaning business, and I probably stereotypically played wrongly there. I probably should pick the guy with the messed up hair and the the less more disheveled look versus the guy that looked like he was clean cut and knew what he was professional. I was probably thinking more along the lines of what I would look for in somebody working a regular job versus what I should look for as far as somebody who plays Hearthstone at a professional level. Anyway, so he lost immediately in the first round. I think 5-11 was it? He won 5 games, lost 11, and he's eliminated. So when all is said and done, maybe I'll get a couple of packs for that, but I surely didn't hitch my wagon to the right horse there. I think in a lot of ways that there just kind of shows an inherent problem. Let's see what's going on with the idea of this. It's kind of gambling, but not gambling because you're not putting anything up. So it's kind of like a sweepstakes raffle type thing. Yeah, I'd say it's closest to a raffle. But you pick your winner and then it happens. So
my totems.
Let's see if this activates. Whenever you cast a spell, summon a random basic totem. Nope. It does not work. So weapons are not spells. Interesting. So I can be done with that, of course, that championship, and I'll just watch it all the way through. Would I play it again? It's free packs, so I see no reason why not to select. Maybe it would have been wiser to wait for the second enrollment period. It almost certainly would have been wiser to do that, actually. Here we go. So Yeah. Anyways, let's move on to the next story since I'm just going. Yeah. Man, sometimes I just listen to myself talk and think, boy, do I suck. It's, that. Then we'll activate that, and then we'll do this.
Elements I like. Totems I love.
The Nintendo Switch, we got some rumors are probably true as far as that touchscreen. It is a 6.2 inch, so 6.2 inch diagonal. It's kind of small, or maybe to be it's incredibly small. 6.2 inches, let's see. On the diagonal, too. That's the thing. It's like when you have a 5-inch or 7-inch screen
Put this apple on your head.
on a cell phone, that isn't always represented on the diagonal. It can't be that small. That seems too small. Even thinking it was going to be small. 6.2 inches is really, really small. It's 720p.
Measures and found wanting.
It really sounds like these are just some kind of screens that have existed for something else and they're getting repurposed.
Let's show our guests a good time.
Let's see.
All realities, all dimensions are open to me.
Unworthy.
Go ahead and kill this guy.
Job done.
So, yeah, it's a 720p screen, which is kind of to be expected. Really, Nintendo hasn't made a lot of progress from the original TV standard of 525 lines, which I think was the original thing. I mean, if you're going only up to 720 and it's progressive instead of interlaced, well, that's going from interlaced to progressive. You're, I suppose, technically doubling everything, but not anywhere as much progress as we are. I was looking at somebody recommending video cards, and they were talking about how you can run games now at 2K on some of these new video cards, and I'm like, I bet you can't run them on Ultra on some of these low-end video cards at 2K, but yeah, I guess you can. And that's not even a goal for me. I am fine with sticking at 1080p for a while yet. Because there's just a multitude of factors. Going up to 2K or 4K, probably just jumping to 4K, means new video cards that don't exist now, or trying to do SLI with 2 Titan X's, which still probably wouldn't work on some of the AAA games on Ultra. 4K monitor, I think I talked about this recently anyways, but
The legions I command.
so I probably don't even need to go into that, but Nintendo Switch is not up to snuff. And so then it becomes just a step above the Wii U, but still not really on par with the Xbox One or PlayStation 4. What are they doing? It seems like they're just doing the same thing over and over again and still not getting it.
What now?
It really makes little sense. The only way I can even justify it in my head is if you don't think of the Nintendo Switch as a replacement for the Wii U, and instead what you think of it is as the upgrade to the Nintendo 3DS, which kind of makes a little bit more sense, and then them completely just admitting that they're not gonna compete in a console market at all. That if you think of this is a portable game console.
What now?
Looks like I'm gonna have an interesting gameplay here if this guy's not gonna play. So I need to get cards played, so I'm just gonna go ahead and end and let this game continue, even though it's gonna be really boring. So if you look at it that way, then you have to only be upset that they are potentially moving things like the new Zelda games to a portable console instead of doing what you would prefer to do, which is build something a little bit better and easier to play that. Maybe though this is the first step of something. I mean, this is pure old Nintendo fanboyism coming out of my mouth right here. But maybe, just maybe, here's they're probably not going to happen, but maybe if they do, are kind of just making the admission that that's the case and that their portable console is going to play their Nintendo games. Maybe they're also going to license their games to the other consoles. That could be an interesting future. If they turned around and said specifically that you
Bring out your dead.
if they specifically said that, like, the new Zelda game was going to come out for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Nintendo Switch, I could see that working. But I don't know why Microsoft or Sony would make that contract. They would certainly take it, but the Nintendo would want something back from it.
Made to fit.
So they would have to say, we want you to put like Halo and your exclusives, which most of their exclusives for Xbox One and Sony aren't even like recognizable exclusives and that much. So build this isn't gonna work well. Oh well, we'll try it.
Get in there and fight, maggot!
Interesting.
Goody.
So, yeah, if they could get Uncharted, if they could get some of the PlayStation things on there, that would make sense. And really, I think since Nintendo America really is just a kind of a puppet of Nintendo Japan, then they could theoretically, if they could get a contract with Sony, which is the only real competition in Japan, versus cell phone games, which I don't think they still see themselves as competing there, that would make really good sense. The other thought, though, is if they couldn't get that, and they couldn't get the console market at all, if Nintendo games just came to PC, then a lot of problems are solved immediately. a ton of problems are immediately solved with Nintendo games just getting PC. They started taking their incredible backlog and putting a legitimate way there. And on top of that, if they would stop with their stupid content on D garbage on YouTube, I would content. I would cover. I would completely cover them. This is going to be interesting. Why did that not do damage to all the other minions? Oh, I guess that was a battle cry instead of a death roll. Oh well. So, in some small scenario, I don't know if Microsoft even really has that many exclusives that would appeal too much. A portable Halo, particularly if they're gonna just slowly port like the Halo 1 to portable. It may be a very slow process, and I'm not sure if it sells that much. The other thing is, I think I heard Nintendo Switch is ARM technology. So if it's ARM instead of 486 or i86 processor, it's then still the old problem of the PlayStation 3 games are just not compatible at all with the PlayStation 4. Old games won't run. But it being ARM technology too, that means it is kind of compatible with cell phone games. So the Nintendo Switch might open a marketplace where you could just have the Google Play Store on the Switch and playing all kinds of cell phone games with moderate to no actual moderation by Nintendo. I want to play this. And then do I want to do this? I guess I job's done. Okay. Let's move on here. There's this game that's on Kickstarter or Fig, I think it's on Fig, called Trackless. And again, I don't want to promote games that very well may never show up. But what's interesting about it is it is a guy who's made a few demos and released a few things on the Humble Bundle. Which, by the way, the latest Humble Bundle has so many things I already have that I've hit this point after less than a year of doing Humble Bundles. I'm already at a level where it's very difficult to find ones that can work without having a ton of extra copies of stuff. I don't even really mind getting extra copies too much, but when 3 of the major things, or all the major things are things I already have, then that becomes a problem. What's he doing here? I don't even know what this guy's trying to pull off.
Everyone, get in here!
Alright. So, we play this. We do this. And then I have to kill this guy, don't I?
Totally.
And let's go and kill this guy. And then the jump. So there's this game called Trackless, and it's a first-person 3D graphics. The graphics don't look really good right now in the demo, but I mean it's not even been started, or it's really in the conceptual phases. I hope the whole game isn't finished and they're just trying to kick fake Kickstarter money into it for no reason. But it is the old style of text adventure. So you still control the character by, I assume, moving. So it's not actually like an old style text adventure where you would type in go west
What now?
or look left or something like that. You can still certainly, it seems like, move around and control yourself with a controller, which actually eliminates, I would say, 70% of all the things you would type into a text adventure anyways. But when you approach an item, you do click on it and it pops up a box, and then you have to type in open or close or look or inspect or something like that. It's also going to be fully voice acted, they say, so that is certainly an interesting turn of events also.
Tonight, a tale of terrible tragedy. Did you bring some fish?
Let's see. Looks like I'm gonna win here. Yeah, although it doesn't matter to me if we win. And the story gets pushed kind of hard in this pitch too, where the story is probably gonna change by the end. So I wouldn't really be too interested in that. Let's see. Taunt character. Well, play that taunt character. Play it. I swear, play that character. So we've almost gotten all of the shaman cards. It didn't count that taunt play though. Darn it. So the reason why that interests me particularly as a YouTuber is there's so many King's Quest games. I have the new King's Quest game. They finished that. I can get around to playing that at my leisure. I'll try to get it out moderately fast, I would assume. It would be a nice thing to take a break on as far as the other point-and-click adventure Telltale games. But if I wanted to explain those old games, which I didn't even really play that much, Trackless would be a great example of it. Doesn't really start any system where I go back and play the old King's Quest games, because no, that would be ridiculous. Speaking of ridiculousness, though, one of the things they were talking about was the point-and-click adventure game that Blizzard didn't ever publish, and since it's BlizzCon, somebody suggested it would be funny if they just put that out for free, since it's already available through finding it on websites. I kind of wish that would happen.
Mind if I roll need?
I mean, that would be amazing. But no, I doubt it's gonna happen. I guess I have until the end of BlizzCon to keep that dream alive. I don't think summoning these taunt guys are actually going towards my taunt character. So once I'm done playing shaman cards, I need to go make a deck just full of taunt characters and play that. What is not surprising, here's my transition. Always point out the transitions, it's a wise move. Is the fact that video game companies, under copyright video game companies, so they're trying to obfuscate who they are, but it's EA, it's Activision, it's Blizzard, it's everybody. Have made an attack website against SAG-AFTRA, the voice actors union that are on strike now. So instead of trying to maintain a good negotiating thing and just negotiate in the background, they're trying to curve public opinion and get the union members to become scabs, which it's not going to work. And this is kind of the level of nastiness. It's really the tip of the iceberg, because there's probably been hundreds of instances of nastiness behind the scenes. But it just goes to show you, this is the kind of company where you need a union when you're dealing with companies like this, instead who don't want to negotiate, who don't want to give give you the raise. And to be honest, if you are working a job that has a union or needs a union, you kind of need to be aware of that, in the sense of, if you don't want to be in a job where you already know the management are going to be really, really mean and nasty, and they're going to have like the letter of the law things where they'll not give you the vacation on the day you want it, they'll give it on the day they want to, or they'll say, well, technically you don't qualify for healthcare because we cut your hours to slightly below full-time workers, so technically you're a part-time employee. It's like just ridiculous things like this, dishonest, unjust things from my perspective, and you can see it. I mean, I don't know how you make the argument
There is a
there.
lot at stake here.
And they've already come hard with press statements, saying, well, we offered this one thing that they really didn't want, nor were they negotiating for, so they shouldn't have gone on strike. And it's like, well, no, they weren't asking for that. And if they were really proud of it,
Mistake.
it's a very blatant political style attacked website or attack things, where they refuse to put their names on it, so it says copyright video game companies at the bottom, versus saying this is a message from EA's management or this. Like, if you're really, really proud about it, then you wouldn't have tried to hide your It's like a political action committee. It's like all the attack ads are done by super PACs and all that, so that the politicians can keep their hands clean of those attack ads. But in general, they're sort of working together, even if they don't talk together. They know what they're supposed to do. So just like another nasty thing, something this whole strike probably could have been avoided had they just been willing to negotiate to some extent better. And I seriously doubt that there's going to be any kind of resolution when you see this level of nastiness in a short amount of time. There was two ways that the strike can go. You can either end it after a short amount of time, you're going to strike, and then it's just done, or it goes on for a long time. And this one is definitely set up to go on for a long time. Will it really hurt the production of video games? Maybe, maybe not. We don't know. We just have no idea who's recording what lines for what game. People may have recorded lines for video games that are going to come out in 4 years. Or people could be trying to put out a game right now and they don't have any voice actors. Either one of those could be the case. It's kind of unlikely.
Did you bring some fish?
That it is. One of those extremes. Let's see.
On with the show!
Not push me!
There we go. Next thing we can talk about, and then that's going to be the end of this recording. Suda65, Swery65, no, not, Suda51 and Swery65 are different people. Okay. So the Deadly Premonition director, Swery65, which, okay, had a huge back and upper arm and leg tattoo. So just almost everything on his back, from the elbows to the back of his neck down to where your legs bend was painted on this tattoo of a monkey that he says is his partner that says swear 65 on it. It's very intricate, black and red and white. It's kind of a traditional Japanese tattoo, but it is important the phrase he quote unquote painted on, because currently and for a long time the only people who had tattoos in Japan, or at least it's assumed that if you have tattoos in Japan, you're a member of the Yakuza. So no respectable person in Japan has tattoos at all. And in fact, there's so much discrimination there that they will have specifically put up signs at public bathhouses and beaches saying you're not allowed here if you have a tattoo. So it's a real thing.
Totems,
Furthermore, the Yakuza might get mad at you and, I don't know, kill you or beat you up or something. I don't know what they do. If you got a tattoo and you weren't a member of one of the many Yakuza gangs there. So I'm pretty sure when they say it was painted on by one of his university friends, they literally mean it was painted on for a photo shoot. And I bet he doesn't actually have that tattoo. If he does, then I would just assume he actually is a Yakuza member and he's working as a video game creator as a side cover job. But he also describes himself as a Buddhist monk, and I don't know how you could particularly resolve those two things. Really? How do you call yourself a Buddhist monk in one sentence and
Totally.
look like a Yakuza member in the other? Yakuza, of course, being games. Let's see. And then now we're in a weird position because we only have like one thing to talk about in the next recording. So I'm just gonna sit here and say that and see if maybe I can stretch it into a rant in the next recording. Even if it turns out that I actually got everything done here, which I don't think I would, because I still have some things to go.
Job's done.
So he has enough to kill me, I believe. Yeah, he should have 20 damage between these three. And I still need to play Skyrim. I still need to get the macro running and finish that up. So yeah, I'm gonna just, next recording, we'll make a taunt minions deck. I'm not sure what cards we would even, which class would even play there, and then we'll do that. Yep, that's it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos. I hope that helps out. If you want to support me further, you can click on my name, Rydo. On the right will be a blue button that says support this channel. Click it, make a donation. And if you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.